नमस्सर्वेभ्यः कक्ष्यायां स्वागतम्। प्रार्थनया प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। हरिः ओं तत्सत्। एतावत्पर्यन्तम् अस्माभिः अक्षराणां विषये अधिकज्ञानं प्राप्तं, यथा तत्र वर्णाः के तेषां गुणिताक्षराणि कथम्, अपि च तत्र संयुक्ताक्षराणि कथम् इति, अपि च शब्देषु अथवा पदेषु संयुक्ताक्षराणां गुणिताक्षराणाम् अथवा साक्षात् वर्णानां योजनं कथं भवति इत्यपि ज्ञातं। तु इदानीम् इतोपि किञ्चित् पठितवन्तः, यथा भाषास्थापत्यम् इत्यस्मिन् प्रक्रमे किञ्चित् कथं तिङन्तं क्रियापदं सुबन्तम् एवम् अव्ययम् इत्यादि पदवैविध्यं भवति। तत्र प्रधानतया द्विविधा, यथा तिङन्तम् अपि च सुबन्तम्, अथवा लोके यथा क्रियापदम् अथवा नामपदम् इति वदामः, तथा अव्ययानि अपि सुबन्तेषु अथवा नामपदेषु एव अन्तर्भवन्ति। अपि च वयं ज्ञातवन्तः यत् संस्कृतवाङ्मये सर्वं धातुजम् आह शाकटायनस्य पोतः some such statement is there. So किञ्चित् धातोः विषये किञ्चित् उपरितनज्ञानम्, अधिकज्ञानम् अग्रे प्राप्स्यते। उपरितनज्ञानं किञ्चित् प्राप्तम् अस्माभिः। अद्य वयं कथं शब्दानां व्युत्पत्तिः सञ्जायते संस्कृते, धातुना भवति, इतोपि अधिकवृत्तयः सन्ति, तेषां विषये ज्ञानं प्राप्नुमः। Today we are going to focus on the 5 generative processes, just to understand them, not every detail of every one of them, which itself is a huge subject, but at a high level. Later on, as we go on to this lesson series, we will be attempting to learn in detail some of those vrittis. Okay, and then we will also look at a combined flow chart. Again, it's not full flow chart because that will be pretty massive. Somewhat sufficient flow chart of the Sanskrit word generator software. We will see that. तो वयम् एतद् दृष्टवन्तः, किं रामः लक्ष्मणः च नगरात् वनं प्रति गच्छतः इति वाक्यस्तरे यदस्ति, तत्र तिङन्तमस्ति गच्छतः इति। वाक्ये एकस्मिन् वाक्ये प्रधानक्रिया एका एव भवति. There will only be one primary verb in a sentence. So in this case it is gachatah, and here the subjects are Ramah and Lakshmanah. प्रथमा पुरुष प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन, क्षम्यतां, प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचने पुल्लिङ्गे रामः लक्ष्मणः इति। तौ कर्तारौ, तो तयोः सम्बन्धः साक्षात् गमनक्रियायां भवति. They two are directly related to the act of movement which is there in gachatah, and gachatah is reflecting the fact that there are two kartas by going to dvivachana. So it is in prathama purusha dvivachana. What is this prathama purusha? Because for us I is Uttama Purusha, you are Madhyama Purusha, he, she, Lakshmana, Rama, Sita, everybody is Prathama Purusha. So accordingly Gachatah will take Prathama Purusha form. Ramah Lakshmanah cha Gachatah. Prashnaha udeti kutra Gachatah, Vanam Gachatah, Vanam prati athava Vanam Gachatah iti karma pada tatra. गमनक्रियायाः कर्मपदमस्ति वनं, गमनक्रियायाः कर्ता अस्ति रामः लक्ष्मणः च। तत्र वनम् इत्यत्र इतोपि कुतः इत्यपि प्रश्नः, कुतः गच्छतः, फ्रम् वेर् दे गो, नगरात् गच्छतः. तो दिस् रामः इस् रिलेटेड टू गच्छतः or gam dhatu, Lakshmana is related to gam dhatu as karta, nagarat is related as the panchami vibhakti shabda as the apadana shabda to relate to the verb. So the departing location nagarat is related to the gam dhatu using apadana sanya. Then vanam is related to the gamana kriya as a karma, dvitiya vibhakti karma. Okay, prati and cha, which are in blue, they are actually avyayas. They don't have any specific vibhakti rupa, they are in a fixated form. So for example, they occur as upapadas. You can say they occur in sentences as upapadas. So of course in English we use various terminologies for such things as conjunction, interjection, things like that. You can consider all those fall into the avyaya class largely here. So Ramaha Lakshmanaha cha. So Rama, Lakshmana and, that is our order. Okay, Rama, Lakshmana, Ibbaru, that sense of Kannada. Okay, so Nagarat Vanam Prati Gachatah. This Prati is not needed in the Vakya because Vanam has a karma relationship to Gam Dhatu, but for clarity you can add it towards the forest little bit. Okay, so Prati Gachatah. Okay, like that, avyaya. So that's what I have put it in numerals here little technically. I have explained last class. Okay, we will again see this vibhakti and all clearly what it is. Okay, all right. Then we saw, because
Prati,
Sarvam.
Prati means is towards.
Punaha Varya.
What is the meaning of Prati?
Prati means towards, correct. It gives a vectorial direction to the Gamana Kriya. You can kind of say there is a Kriya Visheshanatva in the Prati. Okay, which is a Kriya Visheshanatva in relation to the Karma Pada for the Kriya Pada. Okay, Vanam Prati Gachatah. In fact, you can add it as a upasarga completely. Either you can treat it as a separate avyaya, or if I conjoin it with a gam dhatu, then it becomes a pratigachatah. Okay, that's also fine. Then it becomes an upasarga tightly coupled with the dhatu. So you can see it is related closer to the dhatu than anything. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I mean, please intervene with such questions, because doubts have to be solved right there. The flow may be disturbed here, there a little bit, but the flow is less important than understanding everything. Okay. So like I said, Sarvam Dhatujam iti prasiddham vakyam asti. So atah dhatavah ke iti asmabhihi jnatavyam. द्विसहस्राधिक दातवः सन्ति. प्रायः द्विसहस्र दातवः इति वदामः. द्विसहस्राधिक किमर्थं प्रायः द्विसहस्र दातवः इति? केचन पाठेषु ऊन द्विसहस्र दातवः, यथा अत्र एकस्मिन् पाठे सप्तति ऊन द्विसहस्र दातवः, परन्तु अत्र पाठे इति यत् सूचितमस्ति तत्तु अष्टाध्यायी.com पाठे इति स्वीकर्तव्यम् इदानीं. तदेव मूलम् इदानीम् अस्माकं. तत्र पश्यतु, 259 on top of 2000 are included there, and this extra is largely due to some dhatus are read in multiple ganas because they have variant forms. So it takes one form in one gana type if you consider that gana, if you consider another gana, etc. And there are some, of course, some possibly other dhatus that are not there in this list, like that also. Okay, so but if you see, 4 of the ganas are dominant: the first, the fourth, the sixth and the 10th. There are some good things about these 4 ganas. One is that they are dominant. See, 1000, another 160 plus, 170 plus and 500 plus. So you're talking of 2000 plus of the 2260 odd dhatus are in these 4 ganas. So it is like so dominant, it leaves very little for the others. Okay, they are in decades, only few. Okay, so that's very good for us because these are in hundreds and thousands, so these are good for us. So, and the other good thing about them is that they actually have certain simplicity with respect to how they conjugate. They don't have this complex conjugations in a sense. I mean, everything is a little alto. I mean, everything has a little complexity, but relative to the other ganas, they are having less complexity. So you can say they have straightforwardness with respect to them. So these 2 things about the dhatu set is very useful. Fact that 2000 of the 2000 odd dhatus actually have certain straightforwardness, and exceptions are spread around in other ganas. Okay, there are some popular verbs in those ganas also, we can't escape them. So that's okay. So then what is this Gana Vyavastha? We studied a little bit about that also last class. This Gana Vyavastha is because each Gana has a specific property variation with respect to the dhatus of the other Ganas. For example, there is something called Vikarana Pratyaya. If you go to the top right here, so the how we form the Kriyapada is with the dhatu, with a Vikarana and a Ting Anta. Ting is a placeholder, collective placeholder for many number of select set of things. For example, Ting is common for all the lakaras, for all the purushas, all the vachanas, right? So and all the padis, atmane, parasmay, everything is simply in one title. Ting means the suffix related to coming up with a pradhana kriya. That's all it means. So it is only very technical name. It doesn't have any specific direct substitution. So immediately we replace it with which lakara. Then we replace it with that pratyaya form which is fitting for that lakara in that purusha and that vachana. In this case, the lat lakara pratama purusha ekavachana form is ti. In fact, it is ati a little bit. I have shortened it to ti for simplification here because a lot of other questions will come. It's ati, but you can say ti. Okay, so ati is with the So this bhu joins this vikarana. Okay, this bhu joins this vikarana and two modifications take place. Okay, so bhu joining the vikarana, we get a actually bhu plus there is one process to become bo, guna sandhi happens. Okay, and u plus guna sandhi happens, bo, and bo plus ati, o plus something called avadesha takes place. It's called yanta avanta sandhi. These are all swara sandhis. So bhava will be the final form. Okay, and then the ti joins it to become bhavati. So there is a guna and there is a avanta desha. Two sandhis happening. So sandhis are not only between words in Samskritam. Even in the vyutpatti, generative process of kriyapadas and namapadas, internal sandhis we call them. These internal sandhis play a huge role, and we for the between words we learn certain sandhis later also. We will see that in detail, but there are more rules between words where certain exceptions are taught on top of the normal sandhis taught in the between words part, and so those rules also apply. So it doesn't always look logical when you only think of normal word to word sandhi, because there are actually further exceptions. We will probably take a light look at that process also, just to appreciate. Yes, Varya.
This recording you generally do it today, is it done, going on?
Okay, it is going on. Okay,
yeah, okay.
Both the Zoom recording and something I call as local recording, both are going on.
Okay, fine, thank you.
No problem, we will not lose it. Good to ask, because I also got startled for a minute. Looks like I have started the recording.
There's one button here, it doesn't show red.
There is a cloud with a red dot somewhere, you should see.
Okay.
Anyway, I also have a local recording going. Thanks, Varya. Okay, so all right. So this right now, this complexity of this table, don't get enamored too much by it, but let us focus on a few things. The fact that there is a many patha and then there is a collective large patha that is accessible to us to ashtadhyayi.com. And why the gana? Because each gana has a separate vikarana, and also some ganas have a property associated with them, what we call lakshanam, where in that gana something special happens to the dhatu form. So like swarte, nich, dittam, all these things. So one simple dhatu, popular simple dhatu from each gana is chosen here. So this is interesting. Bhu, ati, bhavati, asti, there is no pravikarana. So asti, then da, nothing ti, but there is a dritva. So dadati, dritva is in that part, dada. Okay, dadati. Then shyan yakara. So nashyati, nashyati. Okay, destroys. Then ap, no, see, nu, no, shnu is the vikarana. So apnoti, begets, obtains. Milati, again back to akara. But if you see Panini, there uses shap, here uses sha, because there is a technical need for using a different pratyaya, because there is something special happening even in that. Okay, Gana. So Milati. Then Chid Na is the Vikarana for Rudadi. Chid Chinatti. What happened to Dakara? Again, some rules will be involved. Okay, Chinatti. Then U, which is transformed to O in the Tanadi Gana. So Kru Dhatu, which is the most popular Dhatu. To do, the act of doing. Chinatti means to break. Okay, Milati means to meet, and Kruti becomes Karoti. So this dhatu is the one of the complexes. Tanadi Gana has several complex dhatus. So Karoti, and that only this is only the Parasmaipadi shown. Kurute form is also there. Some of them are Ubhayapadi, but here for simplicity, Parasmaipadi forms either because the dhatu is pure Parasmaipadi or because we have chosen the Parasmai form of the Ubhayapadi dhatu, we have chosen those to simplify the table. Okay, and so see, Na is the Vikarana for Kriyadi. So Grikhnati. So due to some Natva, Na becomes Na shape. Then so then Repa becomes R Varna. I mean that is basically Swara Varna. Like this. Kshal, see Adi Dirga, Kshal, and then Swarthanich, Yakara joins. So Kshalayati. Okay, Aya form comes in the Vikarana. So Kshalayati, washes. Okay, so this kind of thing is a very simple early introduction. Now, just so that we don't lose track, it is not as if these are all just by some by us being decided. Panini has specific sutras followed by specific additional rules, and also there is a Vyakarana Paddhati by which this process is explained by later Vyakhyanas. We go according to those. Okay, so for everything, for every Vikarana, the starting rule is this: what is the Vikarana? For example, he says this Shap is a common. See, Panini is very, very software guy. He doesn't say something for Vadi. First he says the default Vikarana is Shap. So Kartari, Shap. In Kartari Prayoga, use Shap as the default Pratyaya, default Vikarana. Then he says for Adi Prabhrutibhyaha, for Adi, I think Adi Adati, Adi or Adi, I have to check this spelling, but anyway, so for this Gana it is Shap, Shlu, Shyan, like that. He starts stating exceptions for the others. Okay, and so, and further he says another rule, Nich is applied for Churadi, like that he says. There is a Shap also, but there is a Nich also. Together that becomes Aya. Okay, Shap being default. He doesn't need to tell a Pata because it's so Shap is occurring here. Okay. Okay. So here you see for Vikarana further rule will be there. Shapaha Luk, Lopaha, Shapaha Shlu, Lopaha. So different types of Lopa is ordered by Panini. Why even he uses different technical? There must be reason for all that. Okay. Then today's lesson we jump into. So the 5 generative processes. So we know that dhatu is the root and from which we derive kriyapada, etc. That is the normal thing prakriya. That is not being titled a generative process. Okay. So what are these generative processes? And also suppose some standard name is there. We are not going to go into origin, let us say, even if it is not a Sanskrit origin name. We borrow it, right? For example, Anna Rao Varya. Anna Rao is how we call him. Okay, so it is a Dravida Shabda. Though Rav comes from Ravaha, etc., we don't go behind. So we take his whole name as Anna Rao, and then we produce Namapada declensions with it. Anna Ravaha, Anna Ravo, Anna Ravaha, something like that we do. So Atava we add, if we don't want to directly decline, we can add Varya to it. And Anna Rava Varyaha, Anya Rava Varyau, Anna Rava Varyaha. Like this also we can go another way. If there is a desire not to maul the original into Samskritam. But it can be, because Ravaha is accepted in Samskritam part. Rayaha, Ravaha, these things are there. So those are given. But for, like I told you, 90+% of the nouns, all of our nouns, Anujaha, Bhanuhu, Bhashvataha, Janaki, Mohitaha, Prerana, All these names are Sanskrit names coming from dhatus actually. Anujaha, for example, Anujataha iti Anujaha, one who was born following somebody else. Okay, so that is the sense of Anuja. Prerana, Prerayati Yesha iti Prerana. She is the inspiration for us, like that. Some derivation is there for all of them. So they are all dhatujas. Okay, so we have to learn how they are dhatujas. What are the technology? Just for me to put some random vyutpatti vakya like that, which is not scientific, it's just for local understanding. But there is a clear Paninian process, and he calls them vrittis. Okay, there are 5 vrittis, pancha vrittayaha. So transformative methods that create a root. See, they can generate a new dhatu. See, they are so powerful. They can generate a new dhatu, or a stem being noun stem, which is pratipadikam. They can also generate a noun stem with a new, technically derived, because they don't come out of thin air. They are working on what is available. Okay, so derived, meaning from the source words. Okay, so what are these? We will see the Lakshmana Lakshana Kathana in Samskritam also. Always it's nice. Pararthabhidana Moolat Vibhinnartha Janaka Vrittihi. Our grammarians are beautifully giving Lakshana Kathana in very short sentences which are easy to memorize. Okay, Pararthabhidana. Okay, Moolat Vibhinnartha Janaka Vrittihi. Okay, so that which gives a new sense, which is having a different meaning than what is the source, somewhat variant meaning than what is the source. That kind of generative process, janaka, generative. See the word where the word generation comes from. Generative process, janaka, vrittihi is called vritti. Okay, taha vrittayaha, strilinga pada. So those vrittis, cha pancha yata, they are 5 types as kridvrittihi, taddita vrittihi, sanadi vrittihi, samasa vrittihi, ekashesha vrittihi. 4 of the black ones, they are all generating noun stems. They are all generating pratipadikas. The pink, violet, whatever you want to call it, that color vritti, which is sanadi vritti, is generating dhatus. Okay, so the krit process generates noun stems. The taddita process generates also noun stems. There is a variation why that is krit and why this is taddita. We will see that. Sanadi, san adi pratyayaha, basically. Sanadi is a collective title. As you know, already you have become familiar with this adi business. Bvadi, churadi, like that. Okay, so sanadi vrittihi, san and other pratyaya set, that type of vritti, dhatu janaka, sa dhatu janaka. Samasa vrittihi पुनः नाम जनका अथवा प्रातिपदिक जनका एवमेव एकशेष वृत्तिरपि. Krit vritti, what does it work on? What is the difference between krit and taddita and other things? Is krit takes a dhatu. Okay, krit dhatubhyah kridanta pratyayanam yogena kridantani utpadyante te kridantani nama pratipadikani avyayani va. Okay, either generate avyaya or produces a nama pratipadika. Avyaya is already final. There is no further vibhakti pratyaya to be added. So it's kind of stands apart from this pratipadika. It's itself a full noun. So te nama pratipadikani avyayani va bhavanti. Ke yani utpadyante te. Okay, those which are generated, they will be either noun stems or avyayas. So we have to start getting familiar with reading this lakshana in Samskrita because it's much better. So dhatubhyah kridanta pratyayanam yogena, from the dhatus, by the joining of kridanta pratyayas, kridantani utpadyante. It seems obvious enough. It will generate kridanta ended words. Okay, nothing very special there because we are adding kridanta. But ते नामप्रातिपदिकानि भवन्ति अथवा अव्ययानि भवन्ति. शताधिकाः, इन्फैक्ट 120 प्लस शताधिकाः कृत् प्रत्ययाः सन्ति. Huge set of कृत् प्रत्ययas. कृत् again is a placeholder, just like thing was a placeholder for hundreds of different forms that eventually emerged due to different lakaras, purusha, vachana, etc. Same way here also there are tons of कृत् pratyayas, ton in the sense of hundreds, 100 plus. So for example, let us take kru dhatu, which is to do, the act of to do. So ktva is a type of pratyaya we added to it, and here also Panini, he adds a lot of extra letters so that it becomes a separate sanya. So actually the final what is needed is tva from that. Kakara is a sanya addition. Okay, so kru plus ktva, krutva, having done. So this is a avyaya shabda. Okay, it is still retaining the kriya vachakatva of the kru dhatu. It is not as if that has gone away. Okay, but it has become a apradana kriya. If kru we had taken through the thing ending, we had done karoti, something, kurtaha, whatever form, akurvan, whatever form it may be. But here that is a pradhana kriya form, a tinganta. But here it's not a tinganta, it's a kridanta. So krutva, and this is directly generating the final form, which is an avyaya. Okay, so no further subanta added needed. Okay, krutva, having done. So this becomes an apradhana kriya vachaka in a sentence, but it is a namapada as an avyaya. Okay, immediately classified under namapada because it is not a tinganta. So eka ting vakyam is not violated. So Ramaha karyam krutva griham gatavan. Rama, the work having done, to the house he went. So gatavan is again a kridanta, or you can say gacchati. Just right now I don't want to take gatavan, let's say gacchati. So Ramaha karyam krutva griham gacchati. So Rama goes home, but before that kimapi krutva gacchati. Kim krutva? Karyam krutva. Kutra gacchati? Griham gacchati. Like that. Okay, so that's how we go. So for example, ang plus da plus lyap. Okay, when there is an upasarga, we use a lyabanta instead of a tvanta. This is lyap and tvanta. Ktva and lyap, they are sisters. This is for pure dhatus, this is for upasarga yukta dhatus. So adaya, having given. This is also a avyaya. So Ramaha Lakshmanam phalam adaya Sitam api dadati. Having given a fruit to Lakshmana, he gives to Sita also, something like that. Okay, so but if there was no ang upasarga, then dattva, it will take this kritva from dattva, Lakshmanam phalam dattva Sitam api dadati, something like that. Okay, gam ktavatu, another example, ktavat, another variant. So see, we have seen ktva, we have seen lyap. Now I should have colored it differently, but it's okay, too much color also is not great on the screen. So ktavatu, another type of pratyaya. This pratyaya generates a pratipadika. So gam plus ktavatu generates gatavat pratipadika. The gatavat pratipadika can decline in 3 lingas. Gatavat in Napumsaka, Gatavan, etc. in Pullinga, Gatavati, etc. in Strilinga. So here I have just shown the Pullinga Strilinga form because rarely we take Napumsaka for personification here. We take male or female person. So what is this Gatavan? It becomes a past participle representation of the act of going personified into whoever is going. So Ramaha Gatavan means Rama, the person who went. The Gatavan is literally exploding into the person who went, the masculine person who went. Gatavati explodes into the feminine person who went, or the female who went. Okay, the lady who went, lady, girl, whatever. Okay, so that is the power of this Kridanta. So they have personified the act of movement into the person, the Karta and the Kriya are kind of merged in this Kridanta. And also there is a past tense sense, okay, because it's a past participle. So it is a, but we don't use all this participle past, all that. We remember it as Ktavatu, Kta, okay, Lyap, Ktva, like this only we remember. So next Kta. This one is Kartari Bhuta Kridanta, this one is Karmani Bhuta Kridanta, Kta, okay, Stitaha, Stita. So stitam would be napumsaka form. So the pratipadika is stita. Akaranta stita shabda for pullinga, akaranta stita shabda for strilinga, akaranta stita shabda for napumsaka. Okay, mitram stitam, the friend is standing. Mitram being in napumsaka pada, we should use stitam like that. Okay, so karmani. So largely karmani, there are some kartari prayogas usage also for them as a visheshana, but largely karmani flow it fits. That means passive voice flow we use this as a kridanta, bhuta kridanta, and for active voice flow we use these as a bhuta kridantas. Now why do we need this? Why not just directly use the tinganta? This is just an alternate path available to us. Okay, so for example, Ramaha agachat, Rama went, Ramaha gatavan, and then you have to imagine a asit or asti or something as the missing kriyapada. Every vakya is supposed to have a kriyapada. We have to bring in an asit or asti who it addition. Like for example, in Kannada, if I want to say Ramanu hogiddavanu adanu. Adanu is the kriyapada, hogiddavanu is the personification of gatavan sense. Okay, so I mean we don't use like that in Kannada. I mean, just to explain, I'm saying Ramne jaye hue admi ban gaya, like that. That ban gaya is the kriyapada, but jaye hue admi, I don't know how clear my Hindi is, but because everybody is not Kannada knowledgeable here, I'm trying to put in the best Hindi I know. Okay, so it is very natural in Samskritam. These are twisted in our all other Indian languages. Samskritam, very straightforward. Ramaha gatavan. Asit is not needed, but you can put it. For example, you can even put asti. You can even put bhavishyati. Look at this power of past participle. Ramaha shvaha sayankala paryantam gatavan bhavishyati. By tomorrow evening, Rama would have become the person who had gone there. So would have comes gamishyati, bhavishyati. Okay, so that way this not a pure past tense. This is a relative past tense to the active pradhana kriya. Pradhana kriya always carries the power of time. These are relative now to that pradhana. Got it? So takes a little while to learn. Okay, sorry, I am going little deep into kridanta and all that, but anyway, I thought let me spend some time and go into this. So this is the krit vritti. So using one of the 100 types of krit pratyayas, adding them to dhatu, we can take them to namapadas or avyayas. Simple learning. Okay. And then, so, and why it is very important? Because if we want to make a complex sentence, you cannot stay with one pradhana kriya and make a complex sentence. You need upakriya, right? Rama having eaten, having drunk a glass of milk, having done the prayer to God, left for the school, something like that we want to say. So it's very straightforward in Samskritam with these kridantas. Rama dugdam pitva kimapi khaditva devam pranamya शालाम गतवान. पट 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 कृदंतास वित्रो अथवा शालाम अगच्छत, शालाम गच्छति, something, whatever, depending vartamana priya, what you need there. Okay, so this is the power of these kridantas. You can actually create clauses with lots of them. Some of them are actually directly visheshanas or nouns that belong otherwise in the sentence, not as clausal kridantas. Some are clausal, like for example kritva, adaya, these are all clausal. There are a few more like that. Over time we will quickly learn which are these clausal, largely kriyavachaka clausal nouns and kridantas, and which are really otherwise pure nouns going as visheshana, etc. Okay. Any questions with kridvritti?
We can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I think no questions. Okay, then taddita vritti. First let me read what is there. Taddita vrittihi nama janaka. Namapadebhyah taddita pratyayanam yogena tadditani utpadyante. So by adding taddita pratyayas to namapada or to pratipadika, you can think of either way. Tadditani utpadyante, we will get taddita words. Okay, te nama pratipadikani. This will end up being new stems, new noun stems. Okay. Tasmai atava tebhyah hitam iti tadditam. So how this name taddita came for them, some genesis is shown. It is very least important for us. So finally take it as taddita as a type of prakriya. What is the genesis for that word becomes a little less important really finally. So what it is saying, by adding taddita pratyayas to namapadas or to pratipadikas, you can look at it that way, we get taddita pratipadikas, and we can what is the point of generating a new noun from a known noun? Okay, the point is the new noun is something different from the known noun but has a strong affinity to the known noun. That means the parent noun plays a strong role in giving the meaning to the new noun, but the taddita prakriya gives a variation vector to that noun. For example, see here, Dasharathasya apatyam puman dasharatihi. Dasharatha is there, okay, and Dasharatha itself is a construction from some samasta vyutpatti, but anyway, leave it there. Okay, one who was capable of I don't know the exact Puranic reason why he is called Dasharatha, but it's something about 10 chariot. Okay, leave the genesis of why he is 10 chariot here alone. Maybe he rode his chariot 10 times to the Swarga, I don't know. Okay, so Dasharathasya apatyam puman. So the male progeny, apatya shabda is progeny. The male progeny of Dasharatha is Dasharati. So there is a iya pratyaya. Iya is a type of taddita vritti. So using this iya is just a symbolic title given by Panini. This iya pratyaya triggers a certain set of rules by which some modifications we do to Dasharatha to generate this. Okay, so you can see the ikara here in the end, but you can also see adi vriddhi, the becomes da. Okay, this adi vriddhi is ordained as part of this taddita prakriya with the iya pratyaya, perhaps as rules there. Maybe it's a default rule and iya keeps that rule, something like that. So dasharatihi. Similarly, guroho plus an gauravam, guroho bhavaha. Guroho bhavaha. Actually, guru should have been there. Guroho shouldn't have been there. Guruhu should have been there, or guru should have been there. Guru plus an gauravam. So guroho idam gauravam. Guroho bhavaha gauravam. So the nature of a guru is gaurava. Okay. So respect or some massivity aspect is also included in gaurava. Okay, something weighty. Gaurava means something weighty. Okay, then vinata plus duck. What I am showing, see, one is iya, one is arna, one is duck. Similarly, I should have used red for other pratyayas there. Okay, so vinata plus duck generates vainateya. Who is vainateya? Garuda. We believe Garuda's mother is Vinata, right? Vinatayaha apatyam puman vainateya. What pratyaya is used? Duck is used. Iya is not used. Over time we will we cannot hope to learn it completely, but over time, so it is not, for example, it is not vainatihi. For example, if you went with iya, maybe the form would have been vainatihi, right? Some other places iya will be applied for even mother's son, but here duck is applied, in which is why vainateya form has come out of it. Okay, again duck is a placeholder for some modifications that need to take place. Out of that akara might come, everything else is a process generated form. Okay. So this is the taddita vritti. So what we are taking a noun stem and generating a derivative noun stem from it as Dasharatha's son as Dasharati, Vinata's son as Vainateya, Guru's property as Gaurava, etc. Okay, and it has an apumsakatva here. Okay, usually that pratipadika can be taken into other lingas if it is visheshana application. If it is a direct application, it will have a default linga, which is here it is napumsakatva. For example, here it can be stri. Vinatayaha apatyam stri would be vainateya something, maybe, I don't know, I am imagining. Tap will be added. So Vainateya. Some guys ini will be added. E will be added. Depending on some rules, some variations of three pratyayas are used there. So that is Taddita Vritti. Any confusion now? We understood it, how it is different from Kridvritti. Kridvritti is from dhatu into noun. Taddita Vritti is from noun to a new derived noun. It's not a completely different noun. It so strongly has the affinity to the parent noun. Like just like when we say Ramaha Dasharatihi, we say Rama is Dasharata's putra. Tasya Gauravam, what we are actually indicating is his weightiness. And Vainateya, when we say, we are referring to Garuda as son of Vinata. It is embedded in his, this is his alternate name. Okay? Alright. I guess there are no
Sanskrit is rich because of all these
yes
things.
Yes, very good. Yes, it is rich because it has these generative processes, right? It's not like, you know, you cannot reduce Samskritam to a dictionary.
Correct.
You can have a dictionary. I'm not saying denying dictionaries are there, but the dictionaries are different in Samskritam than the traditional dictionary. The dictionaries in Samskritam tend to be Pratipadika dictionaries.
So searching for any these scientific words also, it may be very easily possible with all these techniques.
Yeah. Because if you know the process, if you know the Taddita Vrittis, you can look at Dasharati and say, oh, Dasharata's son. You can look at Vainateya and say, oh, Vinata's son, like that.
For example, fridge, we say Shitala box, what you call, something similar.
Which one?
Our refrigerator.
Shitala Pettika, something like that.
Pettika.
I don't know, Pettika, whatever is the word. I'm not getting it correctly. Okay. Then next is Sanadi Vrittihi. Okay, actually that what you said about fridge, that is the Samasa Vritti generating it. Okay, but Shitala to Shaitalya, that is Taddita Vritti. You see the difference? Taddita takes one word and makes a new form. Shitala Shaitalyam. Or Shaityam. Actually, Shaitalyam may be wrong. Shaityam. Shaityagaraha is a ice room. Gara is usually for large volume room. Yeah, Shaityagaraha. So if it's a cold storage, you can call it Shaityagaraha. Okay. So you don't need to bring cold storage and such nonsense into Samskritam. You can go into a form of the word that actually explains the thing better to a Sanskrit scholar than Sanskrit knowledgeable person than some cold storage type of nonsense. Okay? Today you see what has happened to when I was listening to, for example, our Gukesh is a hot fellow now. We are following on YouTube. So poor fellow is asked to give commentary in Samskritam about his chess. What will he do? He ends up saying 90% English with pandane, pondane, like that in the end. You can't even blame him. Because there is no generative process, he is forced to do that. Okay, all right. So Sanadi Vritti. Next, this one is Dhatu Janaka. Okay, so this generates dhatu. Okay, bhinnebhyah dhatubhyah, from different dhatus, pratipadikebhyah cha, also to noun stems. See, it generates dhatu, but its source is dhatu or pratipadika. How powerful this is. Of course, not all one pratyaya. There is a collection of 12 odd pratyaya. See here, this is the list. San, Kyach, Kamyach, Kyang, Kyesh, Ning, Nich, Yang, Yak, Aya, Yang, Quip. You can see Panini immediately when you see his signs. He is highly technical. He is not wasting letters. He uses some extra nasal and consonants to enhance that pratyaya, so that each becomes a unique name. Moment we say quip, though ikara may be the pratyaya involved, Because the name is Quip, we know what all happens. Young may not be different from young. It may be E is there, but he is giving us some different names so that we know the process variation and the meaning variation that takes place, etc. Okay, all right. So in that San is the first one, so it's called Sanadi. Okay, so भिन्नेभ्यः धातुभ्यः प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः च सनादि प्रत्ययः योजन्ते. It doesn't mean every pratyaya here is applied to all the pratipadikas and all the dhatus. Some are meant only for dhatus, some are meant only for pratipadikas, etc. Like that it is. Mixed statement is dhatubhyah pratipadikebhyah cha sanadi pratyayah yojyante. So for example, gup is a dhatu. Okay, gopanam. Gup is used in the sense of hiding. Okay, so if you add this San pratyaya to it, it takes the form. You see, San is just a title holder. See what has happened to the form, Jugupsa. Okay, San only generates one small part of it, but maybe the Sakara here is. So then the Gup is there inside, the Ju has added to it, added as a prefix. So there is some process, just like we saw earlier Dvitva for Dadati, some other process by which a related Vyanjana and Swara joins the head of the Dhatu. Okay, so Jugupsa is the new Dhatu. So Gup is to hide and Jugupsa is to, it's completely, though there is some relationship to Gup, what this means is disgust. In practical Rudi Bala, this means to disgust. So Gup is to hide, Jugups is to disgust. Okay, in that sense. But Gopitum Ichchati, wishes to hide. If something is disgusting, you wish to either run away or hide it, right? So Gopitum Ichchati is in the sense of Jugupsa, and that Tiganta version of it with the Ati ending for the Prathama Purusha Ekavachana is Jugupsati. So Gopayati becomes Jugupsati, and Gup may be a Swarthanich. Okay, Gopayati is the form. I should have written that also potentially, but anyway, Gopayati hides becomes Jugupsati disgusts. Okay, desires to hide. That sense. Gopitum Ichchati. So for example, Gam Dhatu, Jigamishati. Gacchati goes, Jigamishati desires to go. See the difference between Gacchati and Jigamishati. Okay. Similarly, for example, some Kyach, these two are San pratyayas. Jugupsati, Jigamishati. But to Kyach, another sample I have taken from this list. Kyach, second one. So Putra plus Kyach. Putra. So Pratipadikebhyah Kyach. So Putra plus Kyach, Putriya. Putriya is the new dhatu. Putriyati will be the with the tinganta, tip tinganta. That is pratama latlakara pratama purusha ekavachana. Putriyati. Now putra is just son. What is putriyati then? Putriya is in the sense of desire to beget. Desire to beget a son. Okay. So putriyati means Ramaha putriyati. Rama desires to beget a son. Sita putriyati. Sita desires to beget a son. Like that. Son or progeny sense you can take, because putra is a common pratipadika for putri also. Okay. So this way. So you see here in English there is this practice, he did a trump. We say he did a trump. That is actually immediately for our Sanskrit brain, you know, is a Sanadi style usage. He did a trump is a Sanadi style usage, except they have to use a whole phrase like he did a trump. Here we have trumpayati, finish. Actually, if you bring trump as the pratipadika, trumpa plus kyach trumpayati, like that. Whatever the implication of doing a trump is there in that. Okay, doesn't mean desires a trump. That may be some other thing. Okay, to do somebody like Vasudevayati, Vasudevavat karoti. What did Vasudeva do? He ignored his own life, crossed the Yamuna in spate, carrying Krishna, baby Krishna in his on his head in a basket. So that is the act of sacrifice, being ready to sacrifice himself for the sake of protecting the progeny. So that is Vasudevayati. So it doesn't always mean desires a Vasudeva. Yeah.
Dasharatah
Huh.
putriyatartham putrakamestiyagam. Can you do something like this?
Putriyata is Kriyapada, no? Putriyatartham. So Putrartham only you have to go.
Putrartham.
That is just a normal samasa style. We go. It's a pratyaya, artha pratyaya added to putra. Putra artham. Putraya, if you go vibhakti route, putraya, very much easier, don't need to struggle. Dasharatah putraya kameshtiyagam kritavan. Putra praptyartam. Yes. Putra praptyartam. Artha is a suffix, putra prapti is a word there. Okay? Putra prapt. Not always you want to, do this complex thing of coming to a sanadi or pratyaya and then going to a kridanta and then coming back to the noun. You can do it. Some places it is done. You can loop through the process. But generally there are more easier processes available there to finish the job. You do that. Okay? Yeah.
Sir, one more question. We madidavanu, tindavanu anta madu is a verb and avanu is a pronoun. So that Gatavan.
Exactly, sir. Correct. That Kannada avanu, avalu suffix we add to the mad. That one is personification, right? That sense is there in the Gatavan, Gatavati. Correct. Actually, personification is the avanufication of Kannada.
Yeah. In English and other language, it is not possible. Madidavanu, tindavanu.
Yeah, you have to use a whole subphrase. The person who did, like that. Person who ate. There is no eat a run, the fellow who ate. Eat a run. If it was possible, then that would have been a Kridanta of English. But in Kannada, with this Avanu, Kannada and all are gum-like languages. It uses these words to finish the new generation, like Madidavanu, like that. Madida Avanu, actually you can see the breakdown. Madida Avanu, Madidavanu. It's actually a sandhi of two words. Okay? Yeah. But you can add pratyaya to that now. See, Madidavaninda, Madidavanalli, like that. Okay? So you can say it is some kind of Kridanta plus Vibhakti addition. Yeah. Yeah. The power is there, but it is a little twisted. That's all. Okay. Samasa vrittihi. Next. Namajanaka. Okay. So this one and Ekashesha are like competition to each other. But anyway, Samasa vritti is the massive one and Ekashesha is a small replacement for one type of Samasa vritti. That's all. Okay. But it is not a Samasa vritti because it doesn't come under the Lakshana of Samasa. It's separated out by Panini. So technically they belong together. So if you see, I kept those three above and then these two apart later. Why did I put Sanadi in the middle? Because these three are starting from dhatus and one dhatu or one noun they are starting from. But these guys start from multiple words. Okay, that's why I kept them separate. Same with Ekashesha vritti. They work on multiple stems. Okay, both are generating new Pratipadikas, but they work from two sources. Okay, at a time, sometimes even multi sources. So for example, see, that is the Lakshana Katana. Anekasya padasya ekapadi bhavanam samasah. Very simple sentence. Of many words to make one word is the Samasa vritti. Pratamastare te panchada. There are 5 subvariants. Tatpurushaha, Bahuvrihi, Dvandvaha, Avyayi Bhavaha, Kevala Samasa. Basically, this is the bin of things we cannot classify. Kevala Samasa is only Samasa, nothing else. So the name itself tells you. See, Tatpurushaha, Bahuvrihi, Dvandvaha, Avyayi Bhavaha. These 4 have 4 different non-overlapping properties. Okay, which is why the classification is very, very nice for them with good Lakshana Katana. Kevala Samasa, you cannot come with a common Lakshana Katana. So it's like a and the rest category. Okay. So for example, Tatpurusha example. Mahancha asau raja. Great and a king. Great and this king is a great king. Okay, so Mahancha asau raja Maharajaha Tatpurushaha. This is already in the with the Sup Pratyaya added. The Pratipadika is Maharaja. To that we have added the su pratyaya to make it Maharajaha in Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana. Okay, so Raja is Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana of Rajan Pratipadika. Here Maharaja is Akaranta Maharaja Pratipadika. So though Rajan Pratipadika has participated, it has lost its Nakara in the combine. So Samase Nakarantanam Nalopaha. Some sutra will be there, not in this nice simple way I told. It will be some kuku kuku daku like that by Panini. Okay. Tatpurusha Samasa. Why it's called Tatpurusha? Maharaja is not different from Raja. So the Uttarapada, Raja, is the pointed object in the final also. So Uttarapada Pradhana Tatpurushaha is the Lakshana Katana of Tatpurusha. Then, for example, Gataha Jivaha Yasmat Gata Jivaha. Okay, Bahuvrihi Samasa. Neither the fact that something went nor the Jiva is the thing being referred to. Somebody who lost his life is being referred to. Gata Jivaha. Okay, Ravanaha Gata Jivaha Abhavat. Ravana is being pointed by Gata Jivaha. Neither Gata nor Jiva is being referred by Gata Jiva. Some third party. So, Aparapada Pradhana Bahuvrihi. Okay, Aparapada, something else. Okay. So, Gata Jivaha Bahuvrihi Samasa. Then, Ramaha cha Lakshmanaha cha Rama Lakshmanau Dvandvaha. Okay. So, this we are creating one Dvivachana word out of Rama and Lakshmana. Rama Lakshmanau, Rama Site, Sita Ramau, like these variations. Okay. So, this is called Dvandva. The name is very obvious. Duality of two added into one. So, now, what is Pradhana? Rama is also Pradhana, Lakshmana is also Pradhana. So the Lakshana Vakya for this is Ubhaya Pada Pradhana Pradhanaha Dvandvaha. Ubhaya Pada Pradhanaha Dvandvaha. So Uttara Pada Pradhanaha Tatpurushaha. Apara Pada Pradhanaha Bahuvrihi. Ubhaya Pada Pradhanaha Dvandvaha. It etches into your head. Lakshana Katana. Identifying the classification becomes easy. Okay, then for example, Makshikanam abhavaha, the absence of flies. Okay, nirmakshikam, it is a napumsaka shabda. Okay, so avyayi bhava samasa. Okay, usually avyayi bhava samase purva pada pradhanyam vartate nihi ityasya, because absence is the dominant meaning of nirmakshika. Absent from what is being highlighted makshika, but absence of something is the dominance there. So purva pada pradhana, which is tends to be a upasarga like thing. So nirmakshikam avyayi bhavaha.
Like Nirmala.
Nirmalam, correct. The first avyaya production is Nirmalam, but you can now take the Nirmala Pratipadika. Okay, Malarahita, Nirmala as a Upasarga addition, and go to other Vibhaktis and other lingas, Pullinga, Strilinga, etc. But if you just want to say something is without any dirt, then the Nirmalam is the word. For example, Griham Nirmalam Asti, Nagari Nirmala Asti as a Visheshana, or Nirmalam Asti as a Avyaya application, Vidheka Bhava. Okay?
So, Aroga is also something similar.
Aroga is Nai. Nai Samasa. That falls under Roga with the Uttara Pada Pradhana. It falls under Tatpurusha only. Na Rogam Arogam. Na Rogaha Arogaha. Something like that. I think it's Pullinga, na Rogaha. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Ubhayalinga. Okay. Alright. Yatha Purvam Bhutaha Bhuta Purvaha is an example of Kevala Samasa. Okay. So Bhuta Purvaha means one who was also present before in this. Oh, okay. Etattu Ramasya Ayodhyayam Prathamavaram Agamanam Nasti. Saha Ayodhyayam Bhuta Purvaha Eva. He was there in Ayodhya before. Like that. Okay. So that's, you cannot now really classify it. So these kind of things they throw under Kevala Samasa. It's difficult to see any common property for them. So we just take them as isolated learnings in our head and use them. Okay, so that is Samasa Vritti. So we saw one examples of each. Okay, that teaches very little really, but it gets us started. Just like, for example, Mahodaya asked, what about Nirmala? Is there a samasa? Yes, there is a possibility to go from Nirmalam, but it's an avyayi bhava. So we have other methods of adding nihi upasarga to mala shabda. Mala shabda can be malaha, mala, malam, depending on what its visheshana. Like that. So Nirmalam can also be similarly visheshana. Okay, which means it can take all three lingas.
If you say the mala, komala, it is good, right? Is it also samasa?
Not everything you should split like that. Some other origin may be there, because there are only so many words, so many letters, you will come with overlapping forms, subforms. You should not conclude from that. It is anything to do with mala. Okay, because komala means delicate. It's nothing to do with adding some ku to mala or something. Okay, yeah. Nirmala simply means Shubra. It is same as Shubra. Okay. Then there is Ekashesha Vritti. Also is a Nama Janaka. Okay. Any question with Samasa Vritti at the very high level we have dealt with? Okay. Alright. So we will finish this slide, take a break and then continue. Ekashesha Vrittihi Nama Janaka. See, one thing guys, one slide tends to be very high density. In Samskritam, one Lakshana Vakya requires 5-6 minutes of explanation. So that's why it's not as if we will move extremely rapidly. Because we are having only one session per week, everything will look slow. Later on it is Madam's prerogative, Janaki Varia's prerogative, to see if there is some opportunity to increase the frequency. I will leave it up to you guys. I think I can handle 2 sessions a week, but right now we are starting with 1. That is fine with me. Ekashesha Vritti.
Yeah, the speed is good, but you are talking some sloka and all that in this. So that means samasa vritti means you. I heard that you are giving some explanation through shloka.
Here and there, for example, yeah. And like here, anekasya padasya ekapadi bhavanam samasah. See, we one thing, what we do is, there may be some vritti arrangement, some chanda there or not, but these kind of lakshana vakyas, we use a little bit of raga to memorize them.
Yes.
If you don't put raga, if I read it like a stale sentence, memorizing becomes difficult. So I am throwing raga to them. So binnebhyah dhatubhyah.
Understood. For you had something similar shloka for this bahuvrihi tatpurusha and all that.
That will come. That will come. There is a big samasa section coming ahead, but quite much later. Much later it will be coming. There everything we will see in full glory. Yeah. I have used it. For example, it is innate to my head to immediately when I see Tatpurusha, more meaningful for me is Uttara Padapradana Tatpurusha, Apara Padapradana Bahuvrihi, Ubaya Padapradana Dvandvaha, Purva Padapradana Avyayi Bhavaha Avyayascha, Anye Kevala Samasaha. That's all. That's the raga for me.
Anye.
Yeah. Anya means others. Ekashesha vrittihi pratipadika dvayam pratipadika dvyam iti dvayam iti syat tatra kimapi abhavat pratipadika dvayam eki bhutva ekasya pratipadikasya eva dvivachana prayoge shishyate dvandva samasasya apavadaha. So this is an apavada to dvandva in select cases, not everywhere. Rama Lakshmana don't become ekashesha, but something else will. Okay, pratipadika dvayam eki bhutva. 2 pratipadikas become 1 pratipadika in the sense that one of them allied. Okay, but you will see there is a strong reason for elision of 1. Ekasya pratipadikasya eva dvivachana prayoge shishyate. In the dvivachana prayoga of 1 pratipadika it remains. Most famous example is Mata cha Pita cha Pitarau. This is there in the first verse of Kalidasa in Raghuvamsha. Okay. Pitarau Vande. So Parvati Parameshwarau. There is a Dvandva follows which is Parvati Parameshwarau, but Pitarau is a Ekashesha there. So we use that verse a lot in SamskritaVyakaranam because it contains a trove of examples of different vrittis there. Okay. So Ekashesha vritti is that. Mata cha Pita cha Pitarau. So it's there in English, you see, father and mother, parents. Okay. So that parent word is the technically in Sanskritam is the Pitara word. Okay, but we use it in Dvandva like that. Okay, so dual mode in second vachana. So Mata cha Pita cha Pitarau. There is, then this can further go to other vibhaktis. Okay, it will continue, of course, in this sense. If in the Ekashesha sense, when you are using it, only remains in the dual column. If you are using it just in the Pita sense, because Pitarau actually is Pita Shabdas Dvivachana form. Pita, Pitarau, Pitaraha. Okay, so what has happened is the masculine Pita has embedded the feminine Mata in it in the Ekashesha. Okay, alright, that's all has happened. So similarly, for example, Brata cha, Swasa cha, Bratarau. Okay, Hamsas cha, Hamsi cha, Hamsau, Yugalam. See, Hamsa Yugalam. So Hamsa, you can, in fact, if you don't want to say Hamsau, you can say Hamsa Yugalam also. In Valmiki's verse, Hamsa Yugalam comes, where he gives Shapa to Nishada, that Hamsa Yugalam. So Hamsa, Hamsascha, Hamsicha, Hamsau. So male Hamsa and female Hamsa, Hamsa being swan. Male swan and female swan together is dual swan. That is the Hamsau. Okay, Bhavantascha, Bhavatyascha, Bhavantaha. See, we do this always. Bhavantaha, all of you males. Bhavatyaha, all of you females. Bhavantaha, all of you, male and female, together is Bhavantaha. So we default to the masculine. Everywhere we are defaulting to the masculine. It is just a style of the language. Doesn't mean females are excluded. It means they are embedded. That's all. Okay. So Sacha, Ramascha, Tau. For example, he and Rama. Suppose I need to use a Sarvanama reference to them. Tau is the Sarvanama to use. He and Rama. So see, you say Rama, it doesn't become Rama, it becomes Tau, because Rama can take Sarvanamatva, but Saha cannot take Rama property. So Sa is Tad Shabda becomes the pronoun. So Tau form is taken is the Ekashesha. Okay.
This is equivalent to Tau in Kannada.
No. Tau has nothing to do with Tau. Tau is Aap, which is
yes.
Bhavan. Okay. Tau is those two. Avaribbaru. See, Avanu, Ramanu, Ibbaru Seri, Avaribbaru. Simple. Okay. So, Wo aur Ram, ek hoke, ve. There is no Dvivachana in Hindi, so ve I have to use. ठीक है. Kridvrittihi, Taditavrittihi, Sanadivrittihi, Samasavrittihi, Ekashesha vritti is a very small package, guys. Just these are all big giants. All the first four, they are big giants. This is very small. Very few select words fall in this category. It's almost, you can put it in grey tone and not get worried about it as a big vritti. These four are the dominant vrittis, which has lot of science, technology behind them, which we have to learn. Okay. So that's where we will break for the water. 11:07. Take a 3-minute water break and let's come back and continue, please.
Recordings in progress.
Now, sir, we have welcome back. So we saw the Panchavrittaya. Let us now see if we can come to some collective understanding of this. So let us see the generator flow equation a little bit as a little high level. So how this, so another important thing to remember in Samskritam is every word in Samskritam has some root and some suffix. Prakritihi pratyayaha. Okay, Prakritihi the root or the stem, and then pratyaya being the suffix or the affix. No, not just one. There will be plenty suffixes. Some of them are postfixes, some of them are prefixes, some of them are interfixes. They are all pratyayas for us. Okay, collectively. So padavyutpatti kramaha. So let's see the first most basic one. So dhatuhu plus ting. Okay. Remember that because we are sitting as part of a gana, some lakara, some vikarana all come into picture. But the first thing that we are thinking is of dhatu and a ting pratyaya, which is a kriyapada pratyaya. So which generates a kriyapada. So bu plus tas at a high level is bhavataha, like that. Okay, it is a madhyama purusha dvivachana lat lakara. Okay, actually mahapranatha. Bhavatah, I think. Okay, it's a mistake actually. Anyway, I'll correct it for future. Okay, so that is the thing. But what is not highlighted here is that in that process we have to remember Bhu is a Pratama Gana Dhatu, it has got a Shap Pratyaya, so Akara has to come into picture, then it has got some Guna rules, some Ayadesha rules, all that has to be followed, some Pararupa rules, all that has to be followed to come with Bhavataha. Okay, Mahapranataha there. Okay, I'm not showing all that. So the most basic is Dhatu, which is a verb root combining with the verb suffix, which is a ting pratyaya, to create a verb. So verb root plus verb suffix is verb. Dhatu ting yojanena kriyapadam bhavati. What thing? Whole lot of them. Which lakara, which purusha, which vachana, all that are side actors playing into which thing I will pick. What final form of thing I will pick. Okay, alright. Alright, so then next basic thing we should know is Pratipadikam plus Sup Pratyaya. Okay, so that's why we call Kriya Padas are Tingantas, Nama Padas are Subantas. Sup becomes Sub, softens due to Jashtva Sandhi. So Tinganta, Subanta we call them in technical world, but they are in normal Loka Kriya Padam, Nama Padam. So Pratipadikam, which is a noun stem. Okay, so Pratipadikam is a very large name. I wish there was something chota for that like Dhatu, but they don't have. We have to use this. So Nama Padam. It beats me why there is such a big name in the world of short names. Okay, so for example, Rama plus Su Pratyaya, Rama. See, this Anuswara is to indicate that the Ukara is a Itakshara. Anyway, Rama. So basically Sakara will remain Ramas, and that will become Sakarasya Visarga Bhavati Adeshena, with Visarga will come into place. So Rama. So Prathama Purusha Ekavachana, Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana. I'm sorry, Purusha is for Kriyapadas. Here it is Vibhakti. So Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana Pullinge Ramaha iti. Okay, again Rama itself has got something has happened before we have arrived at Rama. We are not looking at it. We are accepting now Rama as a Pratipadika. We are not breaking down how Rama came to being. Rambdhatu plus Ghai Pratyaya generates Rama. So actually whole explosion of Prakriti Pratyayas involved in the whole flow. Okay, and I am not even showing the Vikarana Pratyayas and other things that may be involved. Here of course this is a Pratipadika plus Sup, there is no Vikarana Pratyaya involved. That is there in the Dhatu plus thing. Okay, alright. Next, so we saw Kriyapada, Namapada at the fundamental level, how they happen. Next, we know this, we can make a feminine version also, right? So the Pratipadika can be taken, S03 Pratyaya can be added to that to generate a new Pratipadika, which is 3 Pratipadika. So, okay, so Putra, Putri Pratipadika, Putra, Putri, like that. See, Putra plus Nish is the technical name for the Pratipadika added. Then we add Su Pratyaya to it to make Putri. Okay, it so happens that Putra plus Nish is also Putri, Ikaranta Putri Shabdaha. Then Su is just not changing anything, it retains a Putri in the Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana form. But after that it has variations, Putri, Putriau, Putryaha. Okay, Putrim, Putriau, Putryaha, Putryaha. Then like that it has Tritiya Vibhakti, Chaturthi Vibhakti, variations like that, which is has no, it's quite different from Putra declensions. Putraha, Putrau, Putraha. Putra goes like Rama Shabda. Putri goes like Nadi Shabda. Okay, alright. So, what has happened? Pratipadika plus 3 Pratyaya. So, we don't consider this as a Vyutpatti process Vritti. This is just a Pratyaya to make it feminine. That's how we treat them. That's why it didn't come under Vritti. But it is involved in final Pratipadika generation if required as a Stri Pratyaya. So, say many places, if you see the feminine name, for example, Shikshakaha, Shikshaki or Shikshika, something like that. Okay, and similarly, Acharyaha, acharyini, something like that will come. Acharya may come. Again, we have to learn whether top applies, niche applies. Some variations are there. Sometimes our local languages use the apabramsha. Okay, so we have to remember not to learn from local language version, but we should go back to Samskritam grammar and understand what is the feminine form to use. Okay, it's not colossal error if you end up using the other one. People will understand, but it is not Paninian, that's all. Okay, Pratipadikam plus 3 Pratipadikam, which is S3 Pratipadikam. I should have technically say S3 Pratipadikam here, and then sup to create a S3 Namapadam. Here it's a Pum Namapadam, maybe, or we don't know there, but here it is a S3 Namapadam because 3 pratyaya has clearly been added. Okay, alright. So that equation is embedded here. That equation is in the second part. First is the S3 part. Okay, so growing the second line into a third line. Now see, some more we can do. We can start with a dhatu. We can attach a krit pratyaya. This is the vritti, panchavritti, one of the panchavrittis we saw. Okay, we can attach a krit pratyaya and generate a new pratipadika. Okay, so then we can add a sup to make namapada. For gam plus kta plus su gataha, the one who went. Okay, in karmani bhuta kridanta. Okay, so the pratipadika for this gata, and then the su has been added to make it gataha. Okay, so this is with the krit vritti coming into the equation. Okay, but finally it's a krit pratyaya that plays a role there. Then we can take a dhatu or a namapada, add a one of the sanadi pratyayas. This is a generic equation. So one of the sanadi pratyayas, and generate a new dhatu. We can attach a ting pratyaya to that and create a kriyapada. It cannot be more mathematical. That's why I need all this plus alternate option equal to all these things. Okay, so gam plus san jigamisha, jigamisha plus su jigamishati. Gam go, to go, plus san jigamisha desire to go. Desire to go with su pratyaya, which is pratama purusha ekavachana form. Jigamishati, somebody desires to go. Ramaha jigamishati, Sita jigamishati. Like that. Okay, then so here we had sanadi prakriya vritti happening to generate a dhatu. Next, for example, we can take a namapada or even a pratipadika. You can imagine this as nama slash pratipadika. Attach a taddita pratyaya to it. Okay, and create a new pratipadika. So Dasharatha plus some taddita pratyaya that we saw there. Okay, can generate Dasharati. So that we can add sup to make Dasharatihi. For example, here it is Ganga plus duck Gangeya plus su Gangeyaha. I didn't show that. I stopped short for some reason, but more or less you get the idea. Okay, so duck pratyaya has been applied as the taddita for Ganga. Similar to how for Vinata, duck was used for Vainateya. Vinata, Vainateya. Ganga, Gangeya. Who is Gangeya? Anybody knows here? Gangayaha apatyam puman Gangeyaha. Bhishmaha. Very good, very good. Bhishmaha. Well done. In some form, Subramanya is also a Gangeya.
Oh, is it?
She is involved in the process. So what happens after after the prayer for begetting a son, Parvati Parinaya happens? Actually, Subramanya is born by directly from the tejas of Shiva, which is caught by Agni, and Agni does the samarpana to Ganga, and Ganga submits the Bruna to the reeds next to the river, and Subramanya is born from that Bruna. So technically Ganga is a process by which he generates. So we kind of believe that the feminine aspect of Ganga is involved in that also.
Oh, that's my name.
Yeah. Actually, where I read it, I don't know whether it is Kalidasa's imagination or it's there in Puranas. It is there in Kumara Sambhavam. As Kalidasa's Kumara Sambhavam. We should definitely trust something that is 1500, 600 year old as Purana only. So, yes. It's one of the, Ganga is involved in the process. So
And
technically
Kalidas
Ganga
also
is not a different entity than Parvati is how we consider. Yeah. Stri
Sir,
Shakti.
what I heard is the photos of Subramanya kept under the Samudra for some time to preserve. Correct, right? Later they'll bring it out.
Different Puranas are there. One in Kumarasambhava it is shown as if Agni submitted it to the Nadi, Ganga Nadi, and he was born in the reeds. So that's why his name Sharavana is there. Sharavana name comes from the born from the reeds.
Correct.
I mean, color, Puranic color. There is a lot of Puranic color to this, right? Okay. Because these are all divine births, so people have described it in divine ways. We don't have to say, oh, that is scientific and all that. We shouldn't go there. This process of generating the name is very scientific. That much we know. Okay, all right. So that is the Taddita. So Kritvisa, Taddita Visa. Okay, two processes we have shown here. The Ting and Sup are fundamental pratyayas as part of the final word form generation, but they are always there. Ting, Krit, they come in the end. You see, Ting, Ting, Sup, 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 Ting. They come at the end, except for Avyayas. But in Avyaya we say the Sup is there and it elides. It doesn't have any pratyaya rupa. Okay. So for example, the next one is a Samasa Prakriya. Pratipadikam plus Pratipadikam Samastam Pratipadikam Bhavati Punaha Sup Yojanena Namapadam Bhavati Yata Devasya Putraha Devaputraha. This elites, this pratyaya elites, so Devaputraha generates. Okay. Actually what happens? Deva will be taken, Putra will be taken. His Vibhakti also will be cut out. Because they can transform that word. For example, we saw Rajan Shabda doesn't remain Rajan Shabda, it becomes Raja Shabda. It doesn't have a life alone, it only has a life as part of some Samasta, like Deva Raja, like that, Deva Raja Shabda. So actually we take out the Vibhakti of Putra also. So we do Deva plus Putra, we come with a new Pratipadika, Samasta Pratipadika called Deva Putra. Then we treat it as some Akara, Anta, whatever based on the rules. Then we add the Sup and go Deva Putra. Here luckily Putra and Deva Putra are not having different declension. So it looks as if we retained Putra. Never we retained Putra. We retained Putra, Pratipadikam plus Pratipadikam. We came with a Samasta Pratipadika. We reapplied the Sup according to the needs of this Samasta Pratipadika. Okay, that's why we separate it out and bring it back, which is very apparent in Maharajaha, the need for that. So is this color chart clear to you guys? Anybody having doubts what is happening in the screen? Okay.
Yeah, able to appreciate, but remembering is
no. It's remembering will be easy with this. More colorful chart. Okay, all right. I like colors, so I have put it. If it's all black and white, you cannot. I mean, some highlights will be needed here, there. So I have put it. Okay. Yeah. Now, what I have done here, what I have redrawn here, which has been drawn by Vyakarana only, not as pictures but in words. Okay. Later on by my Guru Varyas, Tilaka Rav Varya, Soumya Krishnapura Varya, etc. All online gurus for me. One for my masters, one for my various courses I have taken through Vyoma Labs, etc. Okay. They have all done this in various pictures. I did, instead of just reusing something, I created with some more enhancements. Okay. Always there is scope for improving something. So we Sarvam Dhatujam Aha. So we start with Dhatu. Remind me of time if I am overrunning. What is my stop dead time, Bhagini, today?
Sir, 11:30 any, sir, it's okay, sir, 11:30 even if you extend for 10
minutes. Okay, no? Yeah, let me call it as drop dust, because I'll try to finish this slide at least. Okay. So Dhatu, Sarvam Dhatujam. So we start with Dhatu. Okay. The first obvious thing is this one. We add a Ting Pratyaya to it and make it a Kriyapada. So Gam Dhatu with Tip is Gacchati. So Ramaha Gacchati, Rama goes. Gacchati is the form we get. So Ramena Gamyate, Karmani form. There will be other things at play. Or Ramah Lakshmanah cha gachatah. Tas will be added instead of tip because dvivachana. Yuvam gachatah. Okay. Yuyam gachatha. So madhyama purusha bahuvachana. Aham gacchami. Avam gacchavaha. Vayam gacchamaha. All this. So gacchati. How do we memorize? Gacchati, gacchataha, gachanti. Gacchasi, gacchataha, gachatha. Gacchami, gacchavaha, gacchamaha is how we remember this. So just learning one dhatu helps us a lot. Almost 70-80% of all the dhatu forms comes to us for the let lakara, more or less. There will be exception. For example, kru dhatu will go not karati, karataha, karanti. No. Or kriti, krita, kritaha, kritanti. No. It goes its own way. Karoti, kurutaha, kurvanti. So each dhatu has its own variation. But you see the common sounds. Ti, taha, anti more or less comes. Okay. That much is what we have to focus on. Even though it is not from one of the major ganas, kru dhatu has some overlap. Okay. Or for example, likhati. Likhati is likhati, likhataha, likhanti, likhasi, likataha, likatha, likhami, likavaha, likhamaha. So all those things. That's how we memorize that. That is only lat. Unfortunately, that is only Vartamana Kala. Now we have to choose at least one Bhavishyat Kala, one Bhuta Kala, even if not all technical Bhuta Kalas, and also some command mode, etc., and learn them. So usually we focus on Lat Lakara for Vartamana, Lang Lakara for Bhuta, Rit Lakara for Bhavishyat Kala, and Lot Lakara for command mode or request mode. Okay. But you can learn also Ling Lakara and all that variation. But primary 4 Lakaras are good for us. Lat, Rit, Lang, Lot. We focus on those. Rit is slightly easy because it is simple growth from Lat Lakara. There is another type of future which is slightly more technically closer according to Paniyan flow for future tense. But anyway, all right. So that is that Kriyapada. So we can take a dhatu and add a krit pratyaya. Okay. Dhatu plus krit pratyaya. For example, ktavatu pratyaya, if I add to same gam dhatu, I get gatavat pratipadika. To gatavat pratipadika, which is here, sitting here, gatavat pratipadika, I can add a stri pratyaya. Okay. So I can generate gatavati, neep, or something like that. I can generate gatavati as the pratipadika back. And then I can add a sup and go. Or if I need to stay pullinga from gatavat, I go gatavat plus sup, gatavan form. No stri pratyaya added, gatavan form. Or if it is napumsaka, again gatavat form. So what sup, whether it is in strilinga, pullinga, napumsakalinga, all those also are at play here. Okay. So for example, Dasharatha pratipadika plus su pratyaya generates Dasharataha. Okay, so that's the generation, right? Then I can, so I have shown the stri process also a little bit. For example, stri process, Shivaha. So let us say we came with Shiva here. Okay, so Shiva, and I can attach a top pratyaya to make Shiva pratipadika. So Shiva, Shive, Shivaha will be the 3 supratyayas in the Pratama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti, like that we can go. So Shiva is a name for Parvati. Shivaha for Pullinga for Shiva himself, Mahadeva himself, and Shiva for Parvati, like that. Okay. Now I can come back to Dhatu. I can generate a San Pratyaya variant and generate a new Pratu. So I take Dhatu through Sanadi Prakriya, in this case San Pratyaya, to generate Jigamisha. Actually T I should kill there. T is not yet added. Jigamisha is the form here. There are some edits needed. So Jigamisha, and then Ting Pratyaya, Jigamisha, T will generate. I showed the final form because everywhere I don't have the chance to go there, up to there. So I have probably shown the whole form. Jigamishati, because eventually the idea is to go to Kriyapada. Just holding the Dhatu in our hand, you cannot use it in a sentence. Dhatu has no life inside a sentence directly, except in Paninian grammar, where he can play with them as Sanyas. But for normal Loka, unless we add a thing, we cannot use them. So that's why Jigamishati is shown here as a final form. Okay, same. And then, so for example, a namapadam or technically a pratipadikam, as shown a grey path there. So you can look at the sanadi prakriya also from pratipadika path or namapada. It's just shown highlight of namapada. So you can add dasharatha sanadi pratyaya, which is, for example, dasharatihi. We had seen kyang or something like that, right? So here, for example, putra shabda is taken, kyach is added to make putriyati. That means desires to beget a son, or a kamyach as an alternate, putra kamyati. This is a little more easy. Kam we know is to desire, kama is desire. So putra kamyati is a easier form than putriyati. You can use either of them depending.
So this is for putra, putriyati. But for putri, what is the equivalent word?
Like I said, putri is embedded in putra. But generally we speak of getting a progeny means getting a son. So that masculine dominance part is playing there. But putriyati, you cannot discount it for if wants to beget a offspring rather than as a male or a female. Right? Yeah. It will remain putriyati. There is no modification to the putra pratipadika.
And somewhere you said Shiva means Parvati. Means for all this feminine word you have to add R. No,
there are 6 or so variant available. Okay, top, neep, like this few things are available. For example, if you saw previous slide, where we saw some neep somewhere we saw, I thought. Okay, may not be here. I can't recall now where we saw. Somewhere I saw a neep. Niche. Okay, see here. Putra plus niche, putri. It's not a top pratyaya, it's a niche pratyaya added to putra to generate putri. Not putra. It is not, the form is not putra, no. Form is putri. Like that.
Yes.
Like Janaki, for example, is also using niche pratyaya. Janakasya apatyam stri Janaki. Niche is involved and some kind of tadita pratyaya is also involved in generating Janaki. Okay.
So if the name of Stri is Kamala, for example, you have to say
top is involved. Top is involved. Kamalaha, Kamala. You can name a male person as Kamalaha, which means Kamalavat yaha Kamalaha, like that. Okay. And then Kamala is, Kamalam is Napumsaka by nature. Kamalam, Pushpam is Napumsaka Shabda. But Kamala is a Stri Shabda because Kamalavat ya Kamala. Kamalavat yaha Kamalaha, like that. The derivative process. Some Taddita flow is involved. I don't know what Pratyaya. There are some simple Taddita Pratyayas for generating such things. So Kamala Pratipadika is generating a male entity called Kamala or a female entity called Kamala.
Kamala is female. Okay.
So these three pratyayas are involved as part of the Taddita flow to generate a Stri Pratipadika. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so we can have Putriyati. Putra Kamyati is a easier form. So it's Kamyach is an alternate to Kyach. You can do either of them. Okay. I find this easier because it's almost like because the pratyaya itself talks a little bit of the desire, kama, kamyati, like that. Kamyach is the pratyaya. Okay, all right. So basically what Panini has done is, or the Vyakaranakas have done is, people used to have this kind of adding this kamyati, which is actually a kriyapada, desires, to putra and going. So he put it under this sanadi prakriya process as how to come from namapada and classified it nicely so that it becomes very technologically clear flow, so that you can do that for other things with certain process. He defined rules for them. That's all. What was there in Loka, he defined rules for them. Okay. Putriyati is a little more technically generative type. Putra Kamyati is probably adapting what existed as a usage into the flow. Okay. So technically, if I want to go below and say there is a Putra Pratipadika, there is Kama Pratipadika, and then there is a Sanadi type of Kriya involved in that. Yeah, but we don't go. He embedded that kama into a pratyaya as kamyach. Finished. Okay? He didn't treat it as a pratipadika. It's a technical process. Okay? Yeah. You want to call it a brick, a collection of 4 bricks as a big brick. So he did a big brick. That's it. Okay. So I think we have come to end of that slide. So what follows next, we will take a very quick look. We don't want to jump too much into that. So what follows next session for us is moving up from this Vyutpatti process we saw today, Pada Vyutpatti process, to Vakya Samrachana level. So again, you remember this is 1 mile view of what slowly we will focus down into 100 feet and 10 feet and 1 feet views later. Okay. So Vakya Sanrachana will climb up to what is the sentence level Sthapatya, what is the sentence level architecture, we will see. So verb as a central hub and nouns as spokes, nouns relationship with the verb cases, clauses and main sentences. We have seen little pieces, even I have spoken already. Pradhana Kriya, Upapradhana Kriya, or clausal verbs, inter-noun relationship. Not just noun to verb relationship, what are internoun relationships, then what is this process of adjective and adverb in kriya, in sentence and Samskritam, what is how that is dealt with. Okay, what is active, passive and impersonal voice, some third entity. We will see all these things under this 1.3 going forward. It may take a few sessions, but we will see these things in the upcoming lessons. So with this slide we conclude today. So if there are any final questions, I can address them, or we can call it a day today, or call it a morning today.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day and see you all next Thursday. Namaste.
Thank you, Arya.
Namaste.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
Dhanyavad.
Sir, next
Dhanyawad.
Thursday, okay, 26th. Fine, sir.
Bagini?
No, sir, I thought 26th, 25th, no. I'm saying it is
If
Wednesday.
one of the weeks we need a slight date readjustment, let me know. I'll work into
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir, I will do.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Record